6 months after the Myanmar coup, a battle for diplomatic recognition wages on. Mabrur Ahmed, co-founder of Restless Beings, is here to discuss the issue with us. Assalamu alaikum, welcome to the program.
Welcome, Salam. How are you doing?
Good, nice talking to you once again, but not a very nice topic that we're going to be unpacking. We know that with economic desperation and a deadly virus ravaging Myanmar, neither the military nor the parallel government with its international influences managed to turn the tide of the pandemic or to break the political deadlock.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think there's a very bright future on the horizon at the moment. I don't think there's a very obvious answer as to which way the country is headed to in the future.
Sadly, the military has sought to control the country in the wake of the coup, the recent coup, which triggered mass protests and civil disobedience movements. We also know that over 900 people have been killed and thousands have been arrested. Has anything changed? How do the people move forward?
I think in the last 6 months, what we've seen is, first of all, obviously this coup d'état by the military. We've seen them strengthening up their kind of power and control over the Burmese people, and that was seen as an obvious show of military force against the protests. And from the protests, really, the parallel government, as you mentioned, the NUG, has risen to the fore as probably what you'd call an opposition to the military. They're not actually a parallel government in the sense that they don't actually have international recognition and they don't actually have any control of any area either, though they have set themselves up almost like a shadow government, almost like an opposition, like I said. The only problem I think that lies for Myanmar, for Burma, and for the Burmese people in that solution or in that regard is that the NUG, the National Unity Government, is very similar to Suu Kyis' old party, the NLD. And I think what the protesters and what the general public of Burma and Myanmar have been calling for is more diversity, more recognition of more ethnic groups, and kind of like a kinder and a fairer type of politics, as opposed to the constant tussle between the NLD and the military.
Okay, so Suu Kyi has been very low profile. Does she not have much of a platform or support any longer?
Well, she's under house arrest. That's why she's been low key.
Okay.
Her popularity is as high as ever, and that's the reason why the NUG is kind of getting the success that it has, even to be recognized as a parallel government. It's basically on the back end of her popularity. The same could be said with the NLD. Her party was only popular because of Suu Kyi, and so therefore those members who are now part of the National Unity Government, that National Unity Government only retains popularity because of Suu Kyi. Without Suu Kyi, I don't think it would have much recognition or appreciation within Myanmar, because it's much of the same old leaders that were there before. It's not really a new and a bettered version of the politics that the country desperately is seeking for.
So despite her being under house arrest, she still enjoys huge popularity.
Yeah, I don't think her popularity will die anytime soon. It doesn't matter what the military paint her as inside Burma. And the reason why she retained that is because there's a history there. She is the daughter of the country's kind of founder, Aung San. And then at the same time, just by the very mere fact that she was under house arrest for 20 odd years from the 1990s onwards, and then came to become a state councillor, she can virtually say whatever she wants, and people will agree. And the very obvious and brutal case of that is what happened to the Rohingya in 2017, and her almost backing towards the military to continue.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of Myanmar stood and accepted, even though it was such a heinous crime, because Suu Kyi said it was okay.
I was long an admirer, a very firm admirer of Suu Kyi, but after her after distancing herself from the Rohingya, she's lost all credibility and respect in my eyes. Be that as it may, now as we speak, the two sides are gearing up for a critical diplomatic battle in the United Nations, where the Credentials Committee is scheduled to convene in September, with each side positioning for recognition. Do you think anything will come out of that?
I think it will just be a to and fro. The country of Myanmar has to be recognized under Min Aung Hlaing's control, because that's the situation, that's the reality. He has control with the coup d'etat, and the NUG has not defeated or overthrown his government. So the NUG can't actually be recognized as the serving government. I don't agree with that personally. I think the people's will is more important than kind of a military force. So the committee, however, will see it as on a legal basis. And I think on a legal basis, probably they will argue that Min Aung Hlaing, the military, are in control of the country. So I don't think this is going to get resolved in September. I think the NUG probably needs to secure more international backing from international countries. I think once sovereign countries recognize the NUG as the legitimate government, then the UN will too. And sovereign governments have not yet officially recognized the NUG as the government of Myanmar yet.
So they're sitting with three issues: the Rohingya problem, the economy, which is in a free fall, and obviously the pandemic. How are they going to manage all of this?
Well, firstly, I don't think they see the Rohingya issue as a problem. I don't think it's a priority at all. So I don't think that's even on the discussion table.
A forgotten people, totally.
Sorry?
A forgotten people, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's not even so much that it's a forgotten thing. It's just that it's not relevant right now. There is no attack going on the Rohingya. The Rohingya are not retaliating in any sense at the moment. And so they're so far as the Rohingya are concerned, they're not the priority right now. Internationally, however, the Rohingya, of course, are a priority. And so people will continue. Organizations like myself will continue to raise the noise levels on the ongoing issue of the Rohingya. It's not just because there's not violence going on now that they don't face any issues and any problems. There is still ongoing issues. So, but insofar as Myanmar is concerned as a country, the Rohingya issue is not center and front of the table at the moment. I wouldn't even say it's on the table. I'd say the first thing that you mentioned, the second thing you mentioned, the economy and the pandemic are huge issues.
Right.
The economy is in free fall, and the pandemic is ravaging all the way through Myanmar. And both of those things can be attributed back to leadership and governance. The reason why the economy is in free fall is because of the coup d'etat, is because it's been mismanaged by the military. The reason why the pandemic is ravaging is because actually, as much as there might be a stay-at-home order, no one is prepared to listen to the military about anything, even if it's a pandemic. And that's the reason why those government orders are not successful as they've been in other countries. Even you can even say in the region, it's not far from there. Vietnam and other countries in that region have very, very successfully kind of navigated their way through COVID. So it's not that in the past I would have said if this had happened 10 years ago, I think Burma would have been able to navigate through COVID quite well as well, because it's been a strict country and it's been a country which has been disciplined heavily by the military. But that's when the people accepted the military as legitimate kind of authority. They don't recognize them as legitimate authority at the moment. Hence, you're seeing almost the complete opposite of a discipline, almost an anarchy, almost a disregard. I think the Rohingya issue and other ethnic issues are of course important, but right now the country, like you said, in free fall from the economy and from the pandemic.
Mabrur Ahmed, co-founder of Restless Beings. Always a pleasure talking to you. Keep well, and salamu alaikum to you. 9:49 exactly.
Looking to get your